It's the Friday Cocktail, presented by Anna Glowinski.
Well, I have Mike Armstrong sat right in front of me on the screen, actually. Singer-songwriter who's introducing his brand new album, 10, because he's celebrating a decade in the music, well, of releasing his own music, and also a brand new single, which is called Getting Better. And we'll be hearing that at the end of this chat. But first of all, let's just hear a little bit more about it. Mike, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Anna. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. So, 10 years you're celebrating. What's that feel like, looking back?
Probably like the rest of us. Where did it go? Where did the time go, you know? It does seem to go quicker and quicker as you get older. Yeah, it was funny. I mean, it's a compilation album of tracks from my previous 4 albums and some rarities and the odd kind of radio edit, kind of things that weren't available before. So it was fun putting it together, because I think when I record an album, it takes me quite a while. It's roughly sort of come out every 3 years. And so when you're recording an album, you listen to the songs over and over again and to get them right. And then when you're mixing it, you listen to them thousands of times. And so by the time I send it out to people like you, I'm sick of it, to be honest. So I never listen to it again. I'm always moving on to the next project. So this is the first time I've really I just thought it was 10 years. Let's do something to celebrate that, to draw a line under those 10 years and then to move on to something new as well. And so, yeah, looking back, and I chose kind of 3 songs from each album where I could. And it was great. It was great listening back, and I'm very proud of it and proud of what I'd done. I kind of thought, maybe I didn't waste the last 10 years. I think I did some good stuff.
No, you certainly didn't. I think you've had a decade that many people would only dream of, to be honest. And, you've put your heart on the line. You're going out there, you're doing it. It's pretty cool. When you listen to some of these songs back, because if you hadn't, you'd put them on the back burner for a few years, did they sound different? Is it a bit like looking back at an old photograph and kind of seeing it in a new light, in a different way?
Yeah, I think they probably did in a way. I think because you could listen to them again with fresh ears. And I mean, on occasionally you hear things that you wouldn't perhaps have done again. You know what I mean? You always think, could I do something slightly different? But not too much. There wasn't too much of that. But yeah, generally I was just really proud and think, they're great songs and they're great recordings, and I've had some fantastic people playing on them. And so it was just a really, really cool and great fun to put together. And
let's go back 10 years now, shall we? How did you actually start out as, an artist in music?
Oh, and I've been writing songs since I could play an instrument, which I think I was about 12 when I started playing the guitar, and I was writing songs as soon as I could play a few chords. They weren't very good. Thankfully, I've got better over the years. But I got a band in school, and then when I finished school, I had another band, and we did quite well. We supported a few bands at the Shepherd's Bush Empire in London, which is a big venue, but it just didn't happen for us in the end. And my parents, who were always really supportive of my musical exploits, after about 6 months of me sitting at home in my bedroom writing and recording songs and basically being a bit of a hippie, I was about 20 years old. And my dad said to me, my dad ran a building company in London, and he said, okay, you need to come and, do some work. We'll support you where we can, but you need to get a job. So I went to work with my dad in the building industry. I lasted about 3 days, I think, on the building site. I was a useless labourer. I'm a coward. I don't like getting cold. I don't like getting muddy. I'm a musician, darling, So I didn't last long on the site. So he took me under his wing on the management side of things, and I learned to be an accountant, and I did management things and price jobs, and it was all well and good, but it was always meant to be kind of a sideline. And while that happened, I got married, had 3 children, got a large mortgage. Life, basically. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. John Lennon sang that. It's a perfect line. And so after about 15 years, this temporary job was kind of important because, I now had 3 small boys. And then just as I was approaching I was about 38, so probably a bit of a midlife crisis. The kind of the British economy wasn't doing so well. The building work was drying up. My dad wasn't very well and didn't want to continue the building business. I certainly didn't want to continue it by myself because I never wanted to be there in the first place. And at the same time, I met a lady called Lisa Davies who'd been in the music business all her life. And I gave her a CD, just like I've been giving people CDs for many, many years. And she actually took notice of it and loved it and gave me the opportunity to make that first album. And I haven't really looked back since.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa Davis is still representing you now. So how has that relationship been, and how did she help you to take that first leap and actually make it a reality, I suppose?
She drives me mad, to be honest. We have a love-hate relationship. Now, I mean, at one point she said I was unmanageable, so it got a bit strained. But we work together in business now. I now also work with Lisa in the promotion side of things. So we're very good pals, and we're a great team. I mean, at the time, I say Lisa had been in the music business. Lisa, she's not just in the music business. She's a very well-known PR lady, as she worked with the likes of Michael Jackson and Billy Joel and ABBA and Cliff Richard. So, she's got a lot of mileage under her belt, a lot of gold discs in her office, which is why I gave her the CD in the first place. And so she managed to get some of that, like Cliff Richard's producer produced my first album, and he managed to get some amazing players to come and play with me. So I was just really, really lucky. But I mean, they saw something in me, and thankfully I've repaid the debt, I think.
And that does lead nicely into my next question. What successes have you had since making that decision to do it, to live your dream?
Cool. I mean, what successes? How do you judge success, I guess?
Yours to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, success was to survive in the music industry, to be honest. I've been in the construction industry for that long, and my dream as a kid had always been to be in the music industry. And so to get to the point where I'm releasing my own records and people are buying them and radio stations are playing them is incredible. That literally is a dream come true. So that's success in a way. I was getting played, but I mean, Terry Wogan, when my first single came out 10 years ago, the late great Terry Wogan picked up on it on BBC Radio 2 and started playing it on his Sunday morning show. And he played it for 3 or 4 weeks and then invited me in for a session. So, I mean, that wasn't bad for a first single. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then in my third album, Oh Hi, the opening song on that is a track called Each Other's Eyes. And I'd been sending records. When I made my first album, people said to me, this would really work well in America. But that doesn't, what does that mean? How do you put that into real life? And so what I did is I literally sat down one day to make a list of all the radio stations in America, all the email contacts I could find. And of course, America's absolutely huge. That one day turned into about 6 months' work. And I ended up with tens of thousands of emails. And so I sent out my single, and half the emails popped back, so they didn't exist. And everyone else ignored me, apart from one guy in a community station in Hawaii who started playing it. So after that, I just thought, whenever I made a single, I thought, well, put all the work into making these American lists. I'll send them out. I sent it out. I very rarely heard anything back until when my third album came out. I sent them the song Each Other's Eyes, and unbeknownst to me, a guy in New York picked it up and started playing it on a radio station there. His colleagues heard it and started playing it, and then people from other radio stations heard him playing it, and they started playing it. And I got contacted by an American PR guy in New York who'd heard it and said, I managed to track you down. Is this song registered? And of course it wasn't. I didn't know what he meant. And so he very kindly helped me register it for chart eligibility. And I think the very next week he sent me an email. It was always on a Wednesday morning. He used to get the charts on a Tuesday evening, and because of the time difference, I'd receive them on a Wednesday. And I got the news that son had gone to number 35 in the indie music charts, and I was absolutely made up. Yeah. And then the following week I got an email. It was at number 20. The following week it was number 12. Then it went to number 5. Then it went to number 2. And I thought, this surely can't happen, but it did. And the following week, it went to number 1 in the indie music chart and number 14 on the top 40. And it stayed on both those charts in those positions for 4 weeks. That's success.
It truly is. Is it life-changing success? Were you then like, okay, I'm here now, I've made it, I can fulfill all my responsibilities and live this, what I'm doing, what I want to do as well?
No, I'm not a millionaire or anything like that. No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, I think if it happened 30 years ago, I probably would be. But it's interesting in America, actually, because the charts are done on radio play, not on sales, which is actually better because these days people are streaming, so the sales are nothing.
Yeah.
So I did all right out of it, but I wouldn't say it wasn't life changing. I didn't retire, but I wouldn't want to anyway. And I mean, recently I had a song out earlier this year, The Greatest Thing, which is also on the album. That ended up at number 3 on the indie music singles chart, number 16 on the top 40. So,
yeah, we've been playing that here at Talk Radio Europe as well.
Bless you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's... I mean, again, it just depends how you count success. I mean, that sort of success was what was so special, particularly about that number 1, was the justification for what I'd done. Because, I ran a profitable building company, and to have 3 small kids and to give that up to become a rock star when you're nearly 40 years old is pretty crazy, pretty stupid, really. Thankfully, I have a very thoughtful and forgiving wife, but everyone else in the family thought I was completely mad, and so it was nice to have that justification. It was nice to have that for Lisa, who'd stuck her neck out and helped me in the first place, and my mum and dad as well, particularly. They're still around, and I'm so glad that they're around to see that, because they're the ones that started me off. Even though they made me go into the building business, they bought me my first guitar, and they paid for my guitar lessons, and they bought me my first little recording thing that I started doing production with. So it was
amazing. Absolutely. They've been really supportive, but they had a realistic head on their shoulders as well.
100%.
But no doubt they must be super proud. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, they did the right thing. It's exactly what I say to my children now, so,
And what about all of the other things that those rock stars do? Gigs, tours, photo shoots, interviews. What else is going on accompanying the music?
Well, all those things, particularly on the first album, I toured for about 2 years with that first album. I supported Leo Sayer on a 40-date tour of the UK, to Pow, if you remember those from the 80s. In fact, I was actually in the band to Pow when we toured. I was the opening act. Yeah. And then I'd run off, grab a beer, change my shirt, come back on, and I played percussion and did backing singing for Tapao. So that was a great tour. American guy, Dean Friedman, the Hollies. So I did lots of touring. I love doing the interviews. It's great. If you're a singer-songwriter and you put yourself and you like to go and stand on the stage, then you have some sort of ego about you. So I love nothing more than talking about myself, It's taking a bit of getting used to, actually. I'm being a bit blasé there, because I remember when I first started doing interviews, it's actually really hard to talk about yourself. It's not something we all normally do, but you get used to it, and I've done a lot now.
I think especially being British as well, you feel like you've got to be really polite and humble. Yeah,
and then there's the sex and the drugs, which is fantastic. It's all great.
Great, I'm sure your wife's loving that.
Yeah.
And what sort of a singer-songwriter are you? What's your genre, I suppose, your style of music, and where do you get your inspiration from?
That's such a difficult question. I guess it's soft rock / pop. A British newspaper or magazine when my first album came out called me the British Billy Joel. Nice. Which I guess, I'm a huge Billy Joel fan, so that was an enormous compliment. So I guess if you think along those kind of lines, that's my kind of music. It's that, kind of singer-songwriter, but, lyrics are important to me. Inspiration, you get inspiration from everywhere, I think. It can be just something, you can just be a line you hear, or I read a lot. So, you get ideas from books and just whatever's happening in the world and how you feel, what's happening in your life, and I think, and if you write from the heart, which I try to do, I think that then you're naturally other people are going to relate to it, because, I'm just a normal guy, and you're going to relate to the things that I've gone through. I'm going to relate to the things that you've gone through. I just express it through song. Other people do it in different ways. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
And what about this single, Getting Better? What can you tell us about that?
This track was never released. I recorded this song in 2017. I was working on my second album with the producer Warren Bennett, and as usual, we were taking far too long to finish the album. And I said, we really need to get a single out, because people are going to forget who I was after the success of the first album. And it coincided with the 50th anniversary of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album release. So we said, well, why don't we do a cover of that to celebrate the 50th anniversary? So we looked through the track listing, and Getting Better is a Paul McCartney song. that's on the Sgt. Pepper album. And so we recorded a version of that, tried to make it as authentic as possible. We even tried to use the same instruments that the Beatles had used and use the same sort of recording techniques.
Can I just interrupt there? Why would you rather sort of try and mimic theirs rather than sort of putting your own spin on it?
Because they're the Beatles, man. You can't mess with the Beatles.
Because they got it right first time.
Yeah, well, the truth probably is because we wanted to get a single rushed out. So we'd rather copy someone else than have to go through the hard work of working it out ourselves. It was just a bit of fun. And I say we did a video for it, and the video is the only thing we ever put up online. And so I just thought when we did this collection, it'd be a great one to put on the CD because we hadn't sent it out to radio. You know, the fans hadn't heard it or anything really. So it's a fantastic song, and it's nice and it's great for the summer. I mean, we're having a lovely summer here at the moment, touch wood, here in the UK at the moment. And it's just great for those sunny days. It's a really bright song, although lyrically it's a little dark, but it's a bright, bouncy song. All
right, we're about to play it, but just wondered what's next now that you're drawing a line under these last 10 years? What are you looking to in the future?
I'm already recording the next album. I'd spend most of my life or free time in my studio. So I've got a new single lined up for the autumn once the promo for this one's done. And then and then an album hopefully next year.
Oh, so the studio is your happy place. Well, make sure you do get in touch with us when that album or that new single is released, because we'd love to hear it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being with us today. That was Mike Armstrong. I've been speaking to him about his career, but also about launching this new single called Getting Better, and here it is now.
It's getting better all the time. I used to get mad at my school. I can't compare. The teachers who taught me weren't cool. No, I can't compare. You're holding me down, turning me round, filling me up with your rules. Ooh, I got to admit, it's getting better, a little better all the time. I have to admit, it's getting better, it's getting better since you've been mine. You used to be angry young man, you're hiding your head in the sand. You gave me the word, I finally heard. I'm doing the best that I can. I've got to admit, it's getting better, a little better all the time. I have to admit, it's getting better, it's getting better since you've been mine. Getting so much better all the time. It's getting better all the time. It's getting better all the time. I used to be cruel to my woman. I beat her and kept her apart from the things that she loved. Man, I was mean, but I'm changing my scene and I'm doing the best that I can. Ooh, I admit it's getting better, a little better all the time. It can't get no. Yes, I admit it's getting better, it's getting better since you've been mine. Getting so much better all the time. It's getting better all the time. It's getting better all the time. Getting so much better all the time.
Talk Radio Europe.